GYANJYOTI online classes. Students, yesterday as we have studied about the chapter 4, that is the name of the chapter is Air from section Geography. So we have completed half of the chapter. Now today we will complete the rest of the chapter. Okay students, yesterday we studied the different types of winds, planetary or permanent winds, local winds, trade winds, westerlies. So different types of winds we have studied. We also studied that the three spheres of the earth and atmosphere is one among them, apart from hydrosphere and lithosphere. Now the first subtopic for today is moisture. Friends, I have written here moisture. Friends, what is moisture? What do you know? Sorry students, water changes into water vapor and remains suspended in air as an invisible object. So the presence of water vapor in air is called moisture. Students, the simple definition I can write here: the presence of water vapor is called moisture. Students, as you know that I have written the definition of moisture. The presence of water vapor is called moisture. Students, then the water vapor in the atmosphere maintained through evaporation of water from the rivers, then lakes, seas and oceans. The presence of water vapor in the atmosphere is essential for the living things on the surface of the earth. Okay students, then there's a subtopic of moisture that is called humidity. Students, what is humidity? You must have felt, especially in the summer season, moisture like a thing which makes us more sweaty than other days. So the actual amount of water vapor or moisture present in a given volume of air is known as humidity or absolute humidity. So what is the reason behind it? What causes humidity? So that is, when the air is full of water vapor, we call it as a humid day. As the air gets warmer, then its capacity to hold the water vapor increases, and so it becomes more and more humid. So that makes humidity more and more. Then students, especially on a humid day, what happens? Clothes take longer to dry and sweat from our body does not evaporate very easily. So sweat comes out, it does not evaporate very easily on a humid day, making us very uncomfortable. Students, you have seen in times of humidity, especially in the month of June we can feel, and students, especially the places near the coastal areas, you can feel more humidity. You will feel very uncomfortable. If you take bath 3 to 4 times a day also, you will feel the same humidity. Okay students, so this was about the moisture and humidity. Then we will move to evaporation. Evaporation. Students, what is evaporation? Evaporation and condensation are the two major processes. Students, these are the two major processes through which water cycle operates on the ground and in the atmosphere throughout the year. Evaporation is the process by which water changes into water vapor and enters the atmosphere. Students, it is a process where water changes into water vapor and it changes into water vapor and enters the atmosphere. evaporation. Students, heat is the main cause of evaporation. So in more, evaporation takes place more in the, especially in the summer season, because it makes the evaporation larger. Okay, students. Then what is condensation? What is condensation? Students, it is changing of water vapor into water molecules. Students, it is the process where water changes into water. Okay, friends, so in this process, the water changes water vapor. So, friends, it will be water vapor. Water only, it will be water vapor. Changes into water molecules. The main cause of condensation is the loss of heat. When moist air is cooled and water vapor changes into tiny droplets of water and comes down on the earth in various forms of precipitation. That like the rainfall, the dew, the frost, the fog, the mist, hail, sleet, snowfall and rainfall. So these are the different forms of precipitation. Jet planes, students, flying in the sky leaves a white trail behind them. So what is that? Jet planes you have seen in the rockets sometimes in the above the sky. So what are they? The moisture from the engine, condenser. We see trails of this condenser moisture for some time where there is no air movement to disturb it. So that is the moisture condenser, which we can say a small type of, we can say, white trail behind the jet plane. So students, then condensation takes place in the following three ways. So what are they? Students, condensation takes place, the three types are, students, the first one is dew or frost. The second one is cloud. And students, the third one is fog or mist. Students, as I have told you that there are three types of different forms of condensation. So the first one is dew. So what is dew? The water vapor condensed and deposited in the form of water droplets on the cooler surface of the solid object, such as the plant leaves you have seen, especially in the month of winter. Okay, students, plant leaves, grasses and stones, that is called the dew. The water vapor condenses small droplets of water, we can say. It is nothing else but small droplets of water. Then students, it can be seen above the plant leaves, grasses, stones, that is called student dew. The temperature at which condensation takes place is called the dew point. Students, let's refer to line the temperature at which the temperature at which the condensation takes place is called dew point. Okay, students, so this was the about the dew. Then students will move to frost. What is frost? What is frost? when the moisture is deposited in the form of minute ice crystals in place of water droplets, that is called frost. That is also, students, it is a little bit bigger than the droplets of water, and that is also can be seen in the colder regions and especially in winters also, students. Okay, students, so this was the frost. Then, students, how are clouds formed? What about the clouds? What about the clouds? How the clouds are formed? They are formed when moisture in the air condenses and into tiny droplets and which combine to form clouds. So, when the moisture in the air condenses into tiny droplets which combine to form clouds. This is how the clouds are formed. Then, students, what are the fog and mist? What is the difference between the fog and mist? Our next topic is fog and mist. Students, so we can say fog means, students, in Hindi we can say dhund. So what is dhund? Especially in winter seasons, a small gulf of air. So white air, we just can feel it. We can see it also. It prevails everywhere, especially in the winter season due to heavy cold. Fog and mist are clouds having their base at a very nearer to the ground or water bodies. They are formed when condensation takes place around dust particles, forming a thick white sheet which reduces visibility. Students, fog and mist reduces visibility. Fog and mist reduces visibility. And this is a thick sheet of, we can say it can be a thick sheet of white sheet of, you can say here white. It is white in color, which reduces visibility, especially in the winter season. Moist air cools down below the dew point. Fog mixed with smoke is called the smoke. So, friends, fog mixed with smoke, fog plus smoke is called smoke. It is called smog. Then, students, mist is thinner and fog is thicker. Thicker means mota and thinner means patla. Okay, students, this phenomenon is especially seen in the time of winter season. Okay, students, then we'll move to precipitation. Students, what is precipitation? As I have told you, there are different types of precipitation. This process in which water droplets condenses and fall in the earth, that may be in the form of rain, drizzle, snow, sleet or hailstone. The process in which the process in which water drops condenses and fall as rain, hail. Then, students, it may be snow, drizzle, and etc. and etc. is called as precipitation. Okay students, this is the process. Now students, a precipitation gauge is used to measure the amount of rain that has fallen. Various forms of precipitation are, we will study them in detail. Okay students. Students, when we are studying the different types of precipitation, we will first study about rain. What is rain? Students, now you know that rainy season is going through, so rain is the condensation of water vapor in the clouds in the form of water droplets. So students, it's a very simple definition. Rain is the condensation of water vapor it is the form in the clouds, in the form of water in the clouds. In the form of water droplets. So students, this is all about rain. Then most of the groundwater most of the groundwater comes from the rainwater. The rain which falls on the ground, that is that forms the majorly the groundwater. Plants help preserve water, and when trees on hillsides are cut, rainwater flows down and a large down the bare mountains and can cause flooding in low-lying areas. Students, therefore, it is always told that you please avoid deforestation, because when there will be large amount of forest, they will keep the water in their place and it will avoid for flooding or land sliding also. Okay students, then we will study about next, that is the drizzle. What is drizzle? What is students drizzle? If the drops of condensed water are very small, then it is called the drizzle. So students, it is very simple definition. If the drops of condensed water are very small, then it is called drizzle. Students, now we will study the next form of precipitation, that is called a snowfall. Next students, we will study about the snowfall. So what is snowfall? We can't see students snowfall in a place like our Odisha or places like Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh. It can be seen in places, higher altitude places like Jammu and Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh. Okay students, and in some parts of Himachal Pradesh, because it is situated high above the sea level. Students, when the temperature of air decreases below 0 degrees Celsius, students, when the temperature decreases below 0 degree. Okay students, when the temperature decreases because water freezes at that place, then below the freezing point, precipitation takes place in the form of small and fine crystals of ice. It becomes ice. These ice crystals join together and fall as snowflakes. It is also known as the snowflakes. When the water freezes, when the water droplets freezes, when the precipitation takes place in the form of small and fine crystals of ice below, when the water freezes below the freezing point. These crystals are known as the snowflakes or snowfall. Okay students, then next we will study that what is hail. It is also one type of precipitation students. What is hail? Sometimes students, the air moving upward carries the drops of water to higher altitudes. These droplets of water freezes and form ice pellets. These ice pellets fall down and are lifted again. While they are lifted again, a layer of frozen water gets accumulated around these ice pellets. Okay students, these pellets grow in size and fall as hailstones. Okay students, it may be a type of rainfall, but it it is a different form. Hailstones fall more often in summer than in winter and cause great damage to the crops. Students, we have seen, especially in summer season, when there is some unwanted rain, and suddenly if rain happens, if it rains heavily, small hailstones fall in the roof. You can see some droplets of ice. As we know that this is not a place for rainfall, but hailstone fall and they cause a great damage to the crops as well as to the houses, small houses also. Okay, students. Then the last one is sleet. Students, what is sleet? Snow and rain falling together is known as sleet. This is simple definition: snow and rain snow and rain falling together. Falling together is known as sleet. Snow and rain falling together is known as sleet. Okay, students. So this was all about precipitation. Now, students, we will study the different types of rainfall. Okay, students. As we know that rainfall is also a type of precipitation. We will study about the different types. So students, what is the rainfall? As I have told you that when condensation takes place, water vapor changes into small droplets of water and they fall on the ground. That is called the rainfall. Okay, students. Rainfall occurs in the following ways. The first one is, students, the conventional rainfall. We will study the different types, and among them the first one is the convectional rainfall. Okay, students. So, what is the convectional rainfall? The sun heats up the surface of the earth. We know when the sunrise directly fall on the surface of the earth, it automatically heats up. And quickly during the day, especially in day, okay, it doesn't rises in the evening or the night time. Then the air in contact with the hot surface of the earth that gets heated and becomes light and rises up. Students, we know that you have seen the hot air balloon, it always rises up because the hot air is lighter than the colder, therefore it rises up. And convectional currents are formed. As the air rises, it started cooling. As it cools, condensation takes place and cumulus clouds are, means it a group of clouds, a particular area, these clouds are formed. These clouds produce sudden heavy and torrential rains accompanied by lightning and thunderstorms. This is convectional rainfall. Students, what happens when the earth gets heated and it becomes the air gets lighted and when it is rises up, then in the form of by this is small cloud or a bigger cloud is formed. As it cools, when the air cools, condensation takes place and different types of clouds are formed. These clouds produce sudden heavy and torrential rain accompanied by lightning and thunderstorms. So this is called the convectional rainfall. Okay, students, the first one is very easy. Then, students, it is relief. Second one is relief or orographic rainfall. The second one is the relief and orographic rainfall. Students, when relief features come in the way of moist wind, the wind is forced to rise up to a mountain. Students, okay, students, the rising wind starts cooling. Then condensation takes place and clouds are formed, bringing rainfall largely on the windward side. The air that has cool cannot hold as much as water as the warmer side. Having lost all moisture in the windward side, it changes into rainfall. Okay, students. So, on the windward side, the air becomes dry and moves to the opposite side of the mountains. This side of the relief feature, that is the mountain, therefore does not get much rain. We are talking about the mountain, students, and remains dry. It is known as the rain pseudo area. Okay, students, when the relief side, one side of the relief side or relief feature, that is a mountain, doesn't get much rainfall, that area is known as the rain shadow area. Okay, students, then the Deccan region in India lies in the rain shadow area of the Western Ghats. Students, an example, the Deccan area. The Deccan area of the region in India is the rain shadow area of the Western Ghats. This is the rain shadow area. Okay, students, so now the third type of rain, that is called the frontal or the cyclonic rainfall. Students, what is the third type? This is the cyclonic rainfall. So what happens in a cyclonic rainfall, students? The cyclonic rainfall is associated with cyclones. Cyclones, in Hindi we can say tufan. Okay, students? They are the centers of low pressure. Winds from all sides converge toward this center. The colder air masses and the warmer air masses meet. The boundary between the two air masses is called the front. The warmer air mass, being lighter than the colder mass, is forced to rise over the advancing cold air mass. As the air is forced to rise, it cools and water vapor in the air condenses to form clouds. When the air is forced further upwards, precipitation occurs. The rainfall occurs, and thus the path of the cyclone or depression is called the cyclonic rainfall. So when this type of changes happens, cyclonic rainfall often occurs. Okay, students. So what is a cyclone? In most of the countries, students, especially in the countries like UK, frontal rain or cyclonic rain is mostly very common. The colder masses come from the north and warmer air masses from the south. When they meet, they form a front. That is called the line between the air masses. Therefore, in UK, cyclonic rainfall is mostly seen. Students, now a big example of our state, that is Odisha. A super cyclone came in the year 1999. It almost damaged almost the coastal belt of our state. As we know that it is situated on the eastern coast of India, along the Bay of Bengal. I am talking about the state Odisha. It was first hit by a cyclone on October 18, 1999, affecting the coastal districts of Ganjam, Puri, Jagatsinghpur, Khordha, then Gajpati, Balasore, Kendrapada. So every district was affected in a lot. It was again hit by a super cyclone on 29th October 1999. Okay, students. Winds up to a speed of about 260 km per hour. They blew for more than 36 hours, and it caused a 7-meter tidal wave and swept away 20 kilometers of inland and brought about massive destruction and death to coastal districts of the state Odisha. Okay, students. Then according to the students, the government of Odisha, more than 10 million people. Students, 1 million is equal to 10 lakh. So 10 million people means 1 crore. 1 crore people in 12 coastal belt districts were affected by the cyclone. Around 10,000 people died in the disaster, and tens of hundreds of thousands of families of the coastal districts of Odisha were forced to leave their homes, most of which were washed away. The aftermath caused several damage. Students, you won't believe that some villages, some towns were out of the map of geography. So they were just smashed away, they were blew away. All the people of the village they died. And as I have told you that millions of people lost their lives and their livelihoods also. The twin cyclones along with the tidal waves badly affected over more than 14 districts. Communicable diseases spread due to very poor sanitary and health conditions. Overcrowding of people in relief camps. They don't have places to live. They don't have shelters. We have learned many lessons from the disaster. We have learned how best to manage disasters. So the central and the state meteorological system means meteorological system means the department which is related to oversee or forecast weather conditions should provide early warning signals about the cyclones or the onset of cyclones. What are the prevailing weather conditions for the next few days? It is important for the residents of rural as well as urban settlements are adequately organized for quick evacuation and transportation of the people, the settlement of the people, how they can be evacuated, how they can be, how the zero casualty is possible. There should be zero casualties. How they should move their livelihood and the human resources from one place to a safer place where there are settlements, where there are shelter homes for the cyclone affected people. Then what are the different types of planning and management? Students, as I have told you that super cyclone. So this super cyclone almost damaged most of the coastal districts of our state. Students, now what are the different strategies, different planning? Planning and strategies. What can be the different plannings and different strategies to overcome this type of disasters? Okay, students, and what can be? The first one is there is also a vital need, means there is an important need. There is a paramount importance to strengthen the strategic planning and management of the rehabilitation and reconstruction effort. In this regard, the various agencies can play the following role in collaboration with the state government and the international and national NGOs and the local bodies to overcome this type of disasters and help the manpower. Okay, students, the first one, what can be the first planning can be the technical expertise. Technical expertise and financial assistance. Financial assistance. Then students, monitoring the rehabilitation and reconstruction phase. Students, this is the most important thing. Monitoring the rehabilitation and the reconstruction phase. Students, then the next one, the last one was the social mobilization and setting up of community-based voluntary committees. Okay, students, the last one is the important one. Social mobilizing and setting up and setting up of community-based voluntary committees. Voluntary committee students, then community based voluntary committees, CBCs. In short, we can write CBCs for community based planning. For community based planning and implementation. Implementation and programming formulation, and the last one is student of program formulation. Students, so the 3 points which I have written here. So these are some of the planning and strategies, means ways adopted by the state government, you can say, the national government, or the different type of NGOs, the urban local bodies to overcome the difficulties faced after the onset of the cyclone. Students, we can't stop the cyclone, but after the damage or before it, we can help the people to move from that place. We can expect zero casualties. So the last point is, students, social mobilization and setting up of community-based voluntary committees. Students, people should come forward on their own to make voluntary committees for community-based planning and implementation of program formulation. How to help people in a larger scale, how to move them from the affected areas to the shelter homes, and the role of the meteorological system of the state government. It may be a central government. This should be given proper warnings before the onset of the cyclone. So students, this was the end of the topic, the chapter air, and the chapter number 4 is completed. I hope you would have understood the topic. Yesterday we have shoot for the first video, the first part, and the second part today we completed the video. Students, while watching this video, I always repeat to watch the video and along with your textbook. Keep your textbook in nearer to you. Then only you can understand the video. So students, by saying this, I say goodbye to all of you and have a nice day. Stay home, stay safe.